Thank you for tuning in to the Victory is Greater Than the Struggle, an ex-lesbian podcast with your host, myself, Jessica Newsome. I am so glad that you're tuning in with me today. Excuse me. Please subscribe to me on this podcast. You could search it by putting in my name, Jessica Newsome. Share it with someone else. Check me out on YouTube, Love at the Cross. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about being uprooted. I know that in our life, there's different seasons for different things, and whatever season that we're in, sometimes we're just really comfortable with that season. And when God is beginning to shift us and uproot us, that change is not necessarily comfortable. And a lot of us know this in our minds. Like, we know this in theory. Okay, change is going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. We have to trust God. But when it's actually happening, it's a whole nother ball game. When it's actually happening and it seems as though things may be out of our control, which honestly all the time it is, when God is shifting us, it's like we are a plant and we're being uprooted, right? We're being uprooted because the pot that we're in does not fit anymore. And so when we take a plant out of its original pot, we are removing it from the soil that it's been so comfortable in, that soil that it's been growing its roots deep down into. And it's almost like a shock. Like, wait a second, you didn't prepare me for this. Like, I'm not sure what's happening. I wasn't ready yet, whatever the case is. And it's so difficult because we don't know the pot that we're going to be put in. We don't know the type of soil that we're going to be put in. But in all of that, we have to totally trust God in the midst of it. Joshua 1:9, it says this: "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened and do not be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." A season of change in my life, to where it's like, okay, I was working in full-time ministry at a church for a specific season for several years. It was awesome. It was fun. And I got so used to it that when God uprooted me out of that place, it's like, wait a second, I wasn't ready. I didn't think it was going to like go this way. You know, what are you doing? How come, you haven't put me somewhere else yet? Like, I don't like this in between. I don't like this season of not being repotted just yet. Can you just uproot me and put me in another pot right now? But it's in that moment, that in between, that's where God shapes us. That's where he develops our character even more. It's so easy to just sit at church on Sunday and it's not always easy, but there's a comfortability where God changes us. He develops our character. He changes our mindset. He's shaping us. But when he does it in a place that's comfortable, that's awesome. But what about when he's like, okay, we need to up this a little bit. This change, like, we need to press a little bit harder, go a little bit deeper, go a little bit further. So I'm going to take you out of that comfort zone and I'm going to continue to develop your character, but certain areas that I can only do outside of that place that you are comfortable. And it is in those seasons where we really have to trust God and rely on him. We could sit there and just chill and rest in our emotions and feelings and fears and almost be comfortable with that. When we blame everyone else for our situation, it's easy because it's everyone else's fault as to why things aren't going well. But it's easy to blame other people when we don't even know what God's doing, right? Sometimes God is like, I am the one that is doing this. It's not people, it's me. I'm allowing this because there's stuff that I need to do in you, but I can only do it in you this way and through this situation. And so, one, we have to realize that we do not battle against flesh and blood. We do not, but it's against powers and rulers and principalities of this air, right? It's the enemy that we are battling, not people, and it's not ourselves, And so we have to learn how to really trust God in the midst of all of the stuff that's going on that we don't understand. Maybe you're struggling with the situation, a custody battle. Maybe it's a relationship that's totally dissolving. Maybe it's a workplace situation that is unfavorable, and you're stressing out and you're like, God, what's going on? God, I thought you were going to give me the job. I thought I was going to get a promotion. I thought our relationship was going to get better. I thought that this situation was going to get a lot easier because I'm trusting you and I'm following you. But God does not say that following him will be easy. It'll be worth it. But he does not say that it is easy. There will be suffering. The Bible says that there will be suffering along this journey, but these things will develop character in us, and it will produce fruit that we do desire. It will produce joy, steadfastness, self-control, right? All of these things that we say we want, but we don't want to go through the hard things. We don't want to go through the uprooting that will cause us to get to that place. If we want to increase our faith, if we want to increase our trust in God, we have to be pruned. God has to cut away the bad stuff. He has to repot us. He has to grow us in a different container so that we can really develop, grow, and thrive. But we have to allow God to do it his way. And we have to trust him even when we don't understand the situation, even when we don't trust other people. We can't always trust other people, but we can trust God, that God's got us in the situation, that he has our best interest at heart, that in the long run, we will be okay. Sometimes in our life, there's other people involved that we can't just cut away. Maybe there's significant others. Maybe there's a parent of a child that we can't just necessarily remove from our life. Maybe it's family that we can't necessarily remove from our life, but we can create healthy boundaries. But that does not mean that everyone will quote unquote act right and be good and follow God just because you are. Some of the things that we're in, some of the situations that we're in, it's because we allowed ourselves to be intertwined with certain people, and now we're dealing with the repercussions of those choices. And so sometimes we have to stay in certain situations and allow God to transform us and shape us in those bad situations. Sometimes it's creating healthy boundaries, creating distance where you can do that. Then that's good, do that. But there's some situations that we can't necessarily do that. So I guess in all that I'm just trying to say is when we are being repotted, when we are going through this sifting, this uncomfortable situation in our lives, we really have to say, God, I don't understand it. I don't get it, but I'm trusting you. I'm trusting in you. I'm going to cling to your word. I'm going to continue to push, to persevere, to be strong in my faith. Even when I waver sometimes, I am going to do my best to stick close to you because I know that in my own mind, I am not going to be able to do this. In my own mind, I may end up depressed, upset, frustrated, cursing people out, totally just jacking up relationships, right? Because I'm so caught up in my feelings. But if I trust in you and lean not on my own understanding, I know that you've got this. But a lot of times that causes us, in order to get to that place, we have to be the bigger person in a lot of situations. We can't just say, okay, well, I'm going to continue to be petty. I'm going to continue to just have this pity party or do whatever it is that, our flesh wants to do, because God's like, you have to do it my way. You said you're going to pick up your cross and follow me, then do it. This road is not going to be easy. There's going to be moments in our life where we're kind of just in shock over situations, but trust God. And all of the stuff that I've been through, when I trust God, I see that he has my best interest at heart. It doesn't necessarily turn out exactly the way I want to, but I see that it turns out perfectly. Perfectly. His ways are not our ways. His understanding is so not our understanding. But if we trust in him, if we continue to do our part, he's got us. Please subscribe to my podcast. You can find it by searching my name, Jessica Newsome, Newsome. And check me out on YouTube, Love at the Cross, or Facebook, Love at the Cross. Love you guys.